wife said, if you win, we'll fly to Asia. If I win, we'll fly to Paris. I bet you won't get toned with just Tai Chi walking before Christmas. Guess who won?
My dad.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the PMR.
We'll try the LMP. 24 laps, though. That's the only... Oh, wait, hold on. Where did that just go? What just happened? Right here. So 24 laps at Mount Panorama. I will, in fact, miss this race again. So, if I want to do the This is what sucks, right? If I want to do the GT1 Legends race, but this is like the Super Bowl, I'm going to have to do the LMP and then try and catch GT1 on the next cycle, because this race is like a 2-hour race, or 2-hour cycle. Screw it. It is what it is. I think the LMPs are a little bit easier to drive anyway. I like the Cadillac, but it's harder to drive, and since we're doing default setups, I'm going to stick with the, I think I'm going to go Audi or BMW. I just don't know which one yet. We'll go BMW. If you, like, basically, if you wanted to just randomly jump in PMR, and this is every sim, by the way, but in its current state, if you wanted to just jump in PMR and get online and play, ranked play will always typically have people going, unless there's, like especially now after this last patch, it's going to start picking up more consistently. But custom lobbies will always be difficult. Custom lobbies are never a guarantee. Ever.
The being dimension is overlooked by most humans. They are lost in their human nature. They are completely unaware of that transcendent dimension of consciousness that actually...
I'm curious, how many of you guys feel the same way about eFootball right now? For starters, PES was more than just a game, was my childhood. And the closest thing to PES right now is eFootball. So, what I mean by that, when it comes to eFootball, gameplay feels like less like a football simulator and more like a battle against invisible force, focusing purely on tactic and skill. In most games, when things are against you, somebody can play lone ball counter, has a high pressing. Somebody can play position or quick counter with high defensive line, yet defense sits deep. So almost nothing is consistent in a way. And that's because of the heavy match balance. Players often find yourself fighting lag, delay, pitch, playing field balancing, game mechanics, and the controversial, assist system. But in an online match of football, the biggest opponent isn't the player on the side. It's connection quality.
Think is pretty interesting, but also confusing at the same time. If you're on like a massive Discord server and you're streaming a game, maybe it makes sense to make it private, but 99% of the time I'm sharing my screen on Discord, it's to all of my friends in a call. I'm just playing a video game. Because, watching my friend play Minecraft for 5 hours, peak content. But anyways, you can stream your screen, you have different resolution options, you have a bitrate, you can also set your viewer limit, and you have a connection mode. Now, this is an important thing about TeamSpeak that I want to talk about. It's one of the shortcomings. When you share your screen on TeamSpeak, if you do peer-to-peer, it means that anybody that's watching your stream can see your IP, which, yes, I do have a VPN running, but they aren't paying for an ad, so we don't have to talk about it in too much detail. But this means that if anyone is watching my stream, they can see my IP, and you can change the option to make it so that only the server can see. I guess you cannot change the option. I'm clicking on it and it's not working. But I guess the point is that when you're using a server, it's kind of like Discord. Your stream goes to the server and then someone watches the stream from the server, so your IP never gets revealed. But given the ever-increasing amount of Discord e-gangsters that will try to DDoS you, I feel like having any sort of peer-to-peer interaction is just a recipe for you getting DDoSed. And if you're paranoid about your IP, things get even worse, because what I saw on Reddit is that TeamSpeak was great until you found out that server owners and admins could look at your IP address. So when you join someone's TeamSpeak server, you're connecting to the server and the server admins can see your IP, which if you're joining some friendly hangout thing and everyone's all nice, that's not a problem at all. But if you're on more of a sketchy TeamSpeak server, then it turns out back in the good old times of TeamSpeak being number one, you would join a server for raids, and if the raid kind of failed, people would just end up DDoSing people, just so you couldn't compete in content if you didn't like them. Internet degeneracy never left. It just got worse. So that is one major downfall of TeamSpeak. It feels like a VPN is required. But hey, let's get to something that I can appreciate about TeamSpeak. When I was looking through the TeamSpeak homepage, they do have a surround sound feature. Now, imagine you have like a whole bunch of your friends talking in Discord. When it's all going into your brain and just through your speakers, it's torture. It feels like you're in like a high school cafeteria and you're getting bullied for the 900th time and you get PTSD. But what this surround sound feature would allow you to do is that you can set 3D positions for people's voices. So for this dude in his roleplay simulator thing, when he talks, he'll be able to hear himself, and he'll move that slightly to the left, so his left ear will hear it. And then his platoon communications will be all the way to the left in 3D space. And then for his squad communications, he'd have it in his right ear, whatever the that means, right? But imagine you're in a voice call with like 5 of your friends. Being able to move their voices in different parts of 3D space makes it easier to like know who's talking. It'd feel like you're like the knights at the round table and you're talking about masterminding and also which Twitch streamer is the hottest. This seemed like a cool feature. This is the whole reason why I wanted to make the video. I wanted to try this 3D sound thing, but if I go to my settings, it's just not there. And I just want to point out that I have barely scratched the surface in terms of TeamSpeak features. For example, there's ways that I can like press a button to specifically talk to one person in the voice call. I think the thing I told you was whispers. People can whisper you, where again, they press a button and they're like, I'm only talking to you. This is like me whispering in your ear. Oh, that's the whole point of the name. I'm actually stupid. But a lot of those army role players will use like TeamSpeak because you can set up different squad voice channels. So one of the squad leaders can like use a button to like talk to the squad leader, who can then voice chat to every other voice channel. It's nerdy as and considering I struggled for 20 minutes just to join a single server, if you want like every single feature of TeamSpeak, you're not getting that here. We're gonna leave the community server. I can create a community. There we go. Let me create my own server. Are you ready to build your own community? I'm gonna make my own Discord, my own TeamSpeak server, and everyone's gonna join, and we're gonna figure out how to use this together. What in the absolute am I looking at? If you want to make your own TeamSpeak server because you don't want to be the freeloaders that join a community TeamSpeak server to talk in their own voice calls like all of these people, it costs you $5 a month. Hey, but there's a 7-day free trial. It can also cost you $9 a month or $18 a month. Now, to be fair, TeamSpeak doesn't have $900 million worth of venture capital that they can just burn through and give stuff for free. So it makes sense that you need to pay for it, because Discord, like when you run a free Discord server, Discord is losing money. I mean, they have to host everything. But just the fact that you have to pay to host your own server is like 95% of the people that were ever interested in TeamSpeak that are a Discord user right now are just like, okay, I don't give a anymore. But what is included? You have 10 slots. So 10 people can join your server. That's also including AFK people. You can have 10 people for $5, 25 people for $9, 60 for $18. Now, I think there's been 2 times in my life where I've had over 10 people in a voice call with my friends, but hey, you get 1 bonus slot, even though you're paying for it. You're just paying for 11 slots. This isn't a bonus. You're just paying for 27 or 64. Hey, at least TeamSpeak's got the weird marketing like Discord, where they try convincing you that spending $8 on a profile decoration is good. But you have storage, they have encrypted voice, custom banners, custom host names, so they are hosting your own TeamSpeak server. And the thing with TeamSpeak is the fact that you can host your own server. You can, with your own computer, just like a Minecraft server, you can open up minecraftserver.jar. But you can do that for TeamSpeak, which is cool, because if TeamSpeak ever dies, then you can just use the same app forever. But the worst part about all this is that this TeamSpeak server that you're making isn't even for this TeamSpeak. This is TeamSpeak 6, and the server is for TeamSpeak 3. If you go through TeamSpeak's own forums, the community manager says for TeamSpeak 6 servers, if you want to make your own self-hosting server so you don't have to pay $5 a month, the files are not ready yet. This was on March 13th. It is now May 13th, so it's been 2 months, and we don't have an early access or a beta version. but they are saying that they're releasing it, except I'm skeptical. There used to be TeamSpeak 5. I know there's numbers between 3 and 6, except 4 apparently. I don't think there was a TeamSpeak 4. But if you wanted to make your own TeamSpeak 5 server, you would need the server files, which they said they were going to release, and that never happened. There was never a TeamSpeak 5 server. That's over however many years. It seems like from this Reddit post, when people are asking about the TeamSpeak 5 server, it's been 2 years, it never happened. Now, you can use the nice looking TeamSpeak 6 client on an ugly TeamSpeak 3 server, but you miss out on like the main feature of TeamSpeak 6, the screen sharing feature. But with all these people on Twitter saying TeamSpeak 6 is, oh, this is epic, I'm clearly missing something. And I realize that I still have more to look through, specifically the group chat feature. Spoiler, it's just like Discord for one specific reason. Mildly 16 plus. Well, it's good to know you can never escape the cesspool on the internet. All right, I'm in a group chat now. Okay, there's actually a group chat. Okay, this is making more sense now. Was I just stupid? Oh, there's pinned messages too. Okay, no one's pinning any messages. There's information. There's administrators like TeamSpeak. Publicly visible, there's an address you can join. This is maybe the whole point of TeamSpeak. The server stuff is for like the big nerds that want to spend money. Maybe the group chat feature is just what I was looking for and what most people use Discord for, which again is talking to their friends. What if I try creating my own group chat? Hold on. We're cooking here now. Are group chats completely free? Oh, it actually is. Okay, wait, hold on. Now, whether or not I knew at this point, I was about to struggle for 20 minutes of my life trying to figure out how these group chats work. But before I faced my deep, dark despair, a hero reached out and added me as a friend. Yo, what's up, man? Oh, you even have read receipts too. I can tell this dude's been reading my message. All right, let's see. Can I just stalk them? Oh, they're in the Dawn of Alliance TeamSpeak 6. Let me see what they're doing right now. All right, there's a lot of badges. If you thought Discord was bad with badges, yo, are you the real NTTS trying TeamSpeak for a video? Never. How do I voice call on this shit, man? There are no calls in TeamSpeak. You can only talk on servers. This makes no sense. I can stream to this guy. At that point, why is there no voice call feature? This makes zero sense. I don't know what's going on, but this beautiful soul is explaining everything to me. I now understand that you can just group chat with people, but if you want to go to call someone, you need to join one of these community TeamSpeaks, but you can also create your own channel. So you kind of just freeload off people just so you can voice call people, which seems like the most roundabout thing I have ever experienced.
When the doors closed last time, people went nuts. By popular demand, we are opening.
Period. One of the biggest questions that I had when I was going through TeamSpeak is who are the people that are using TeamSpeak? I initially thought it was for the military sim people that I'm talking to my squadron, I'm talking to my platoon in different ears, or it's people who are banned from Discord because Russia or Turkey politics. But according to my TeamSpeak Sherpa, who's an absolute legend, by the way, I love this person, I don't even know who they are. But a lot of the reason why people use TeamSpeak is the fact that you can control your own server and data. When you self-host your own TeamSpeak server, all the information is going through your own computer. So you don't have to worry about like being DDoSed because you're hosting the server for your friends. And if your friends are DDoSing each other, holy f***ing shit, you need to go outside. You also have the audio quality thing, which a lot of people say there's better audio quality. Honestly, Discord's audio codec, people do interviews with it and no one cares. It's perfectly fine for production. The people that really do care are like, again, hardcore nerds, which again, if that 3D audio thing comes out, Discord, just steal that feature. It'd be beautiful. People don't need the 1,000 Discord features. For the average gamer, text, voice, and screen share is totally fine. I disagree with that. This is a little too complicated. For me, Discord is more like a community hub and chatting thing, news and bot features, but I rarely speak on Discord. Because on Discord, everyone is in a private call or private server. On TeamSpeak, it's kind of easier to get people to talk because they have to be online. When you see all of these people in the chat, they're ready to chit-chat with people, they're hanging out and stuff, and really being able to end-to-end encrypt your voice and text messages, that's just a nice thing that people like for comfort. Like, it is as easy as right-clicking a chat encrypted. It seems like for the people that really like TeamSpeak and it just works with their brain and their friend group, hosting your own server, whether it be on a server that you pay for
Hello. Can you hear me?